Good evening, YouTube. Allow me first to apologize for this interruption. I do, like many of you, appreciate the comforts of everyday routine, the security of the familiar, the tranquility of repetition. I enjoy them as much as any bloke. But in the spirit of commemoration, whereby some important events of the past, usually associated with a classic album's release or the end of some bloody awful slump, are celebrated with a nice retrospective, I thought we could mark this
insert date here.
A day that as of present is not yet remembered, by taking time out of our daily lives to all sit down and have a little chat. There are, of course, those who do not want us to speak. I suspect even now angry replies are being sent, and trolls with hate-filled feedback will be posting in the comments. Why? Because while the truncheon may be used in lieu of conversation, words will always retain their power. Words offer the means to meaning, and for those willing to listen, the enunciation of truth. And the truth is, there is something terribly wrong with this band, isn't there? Stagnation and indifference, apathy and tedium. And where once this band had the daringness to experiment, to write and play as they saw fit, they now have professional songwriters and trends and fads they feel they must adhere to, pandering to the lowest common denominator and soliciting genuine inspiration in exchange for fleeting popularity. How did this happen? Who's to blame? Well, certainly there are those who are more responsible than others, and they will be held accountable. But if you're looking for the guilty, you need only look into a mirror. I know why you did it. I know you were afraid. Who wouldn't be? Mediocrity, confusion, lack of sincerity. There are a myriad of problems which conspire to corrupt your reason and rob you of your common sense. Fear got the best of you. In your panic, you turned to the others, willing to turn a blind eye to this band's faults. They promised you improvement. They promised you a renewed sense of creativity. And all they demanded in return was your silent, obedient consent. Last episode, I sought to end that silence. Last episode, I destroyed make-believe to remind this fan base of what it has forgotten. More than 19 years ago, a great group of musicians wished to embed their music forever in our memory. Their hope was to remind the world that artistry, inspiration, and rock and roll are more than just words. They are perspectives. So if you've seen nothing, if the crimes of this band remain unknown to you, then I suggest that you allow this
insert date here
to pass unmarked. But if you've seen what I've seen, if you feel as I feel, and if you would seek as I seek, then I ask you to stand with me tonight on this random-ass YouTube channel. And together we shall give them a
whatever
that shall never, ever be forgot.
Nah, I'm just fucking with you. This album's not actually all that bad. You're goddamn right I said it.
No, don't get me wrong, people. This album has a lot of problems, but when compared to its predecessor, there's actually a lot more interesting stuff going on here. Out of all the post-Maladroit releases, I'd say this one holds up the best. I'd rather listen to this album than any of their other later works. Granted, I'm kinda damning the album with fine praise there. It's like saying eating an entire bowl of powdered chalk is better than, say, sex with Kesha. While technically true, I wouldn't want to end up doing either.
Why does my junk look like Sonic the Hedgehog? But, yeah, at the end of the day, this album isn't a complete train wreck. Unlike other albums I've discussed, there are places here where just a glimpse of that old talent actually shines through. Moments where there's passion and genuine emotion being expressed, and engaging and creative direction in the actual instrumentation. I mean, I know a lot of you probably clicked on this video thinking it would be just another troll fest, but no. No, this album actually does have some saving graces to it. Emphasis on some. Hell, you know what? Let's just go ahead and start there. I mean, let's talk about what this album does right.
For one thing, there's a lot more energy on this album, whereas Make Believe never seemed to rise above the mid-tempo slog. This album is a lot bouncier and way more playful. Even on some of the less than stellar songs, the instrumentation is pretty solid, very well structured, and there's lots of good experimentation used here.
Some of the time.
In fact, I'd say some of this album's most shining moments come as a result of one of their boldest, craziest experiments yet, when Rivers isn't singing.
Yeah, you heard me. On roughly 30 to 40% of the songs on this album, Rivers actually takes a back seat and lets the other members carry the song.
I mean, think about that. That's a pretty bold move, given that Cuomo is probably the main creative force behind this band and the overall face of Weezer. Hello. But that's one of the things I really do like about this album. It contains more input from Weezer's other members than possibly any of their other releases, and in those moments when they are allowed to shine, they glisten like pussy-ass vampire skin in the daylight.
Okay, bad example.
But they all do a really good job here. Take Thought I Knew, for example, the track fronted by Brian Bell. It's a nice, jaunty number driven by acoustic guitar and some nice electric noodling from Patrick Wilson. Yeah, Rivers is playing drums and percussion on this track, and he does a good job of keeping the tempo bouncy and tight.
Granted, this song was originally intended for Bell's side project, The Relationship, but apparently Rivers had heard the song and decided he wanted a Weezer-fied version of it for the Red album. But Bell wasn't terribly keen on the idea since he liked it better as something for his band. But Rivers apparently insisted and demanded that they record some kind of cut for it for the new album. And apparently, according to the sources I've read, Brian Bell hates this version of the song to this day.
But regardless of all that, this version still turned out great. The original was structured around a minor chord progression and sounds much more serious and somber, whereas this version has a bit more of a snarky, biting kind of sense to it. Here, listen to them back to back. Both versions are pretty solid, but I honestly prefer the Weezer version more. It's less, you fucked me, and more, yeah, fuck you. It changes the dynamic of the song from melancholy to snarky, almost kind of sassy, and I think it's better for it. This energy is continued on Scott Schreiner's song, Cold Dark World. Structured around a bass line he often used for warming up, the song is sleek, sinister, and has a great moody feel to it. Schreiner's vocals in the verses are punchy and succinct, and they elevate the dark tone of this track just perfectly. It's so twisted and evil and just rawr sounding.
Which is really odd considering the lyrics to this song are not dark. At all. Like, at all. Like, here, check this out. But I see the girl that you are deep inside. Won't you allow me to give you a ride? I can console you and give you a kiss. Show you that you can do better than this.
But I see the girl that you are deep inside. Won't you allow me to give you a ride? I can console you and give you a kiss. Show you that you can do better than this.
See what I mean? This is a great example of taking an unconventional approach to the way a song was originally written and completely reinventing it from the ground up. And it's very effective here. I mean, other bands have tried this with songs
And failed horribly!
but here it works. And rounding out the other guy songs is Patrick Wilson's Automatic, and again, it's a great track. A nice mid-tempo pulse pounder with a driving beat and some good guitar work. Believe me, it's much more difficult to pull off a mid-tempo song than you might think. If it's not definitively a slow burn or a fire starter, it can be hard to find a spot in the middle that doesn't sound plodding or slushy. Just ask Alice in Chains. Oh, God. What I missed. But here, once again, Rivers' drumming actually elevates the song.
Who the hell knew Rivers was so good behind a kit?
And Patrick Wilson's lyrics and vocal delivery convey a very earnest and cheery message. I mean, this song is about how much he loves his family. Aww. A lot of these tracks serve as a drastic tonal shift from the whiny, self-loathing pity party that was Make Believe. The coolest thing about these tracks, too, is that they're inventive, creative, and fun. I like it when Weezer sounds like they're having fun. Because then I'm having fun. Everybody's having fun. God damn it, we like fun!
Okay, now I know what you guys are probably thinking.
Oh, he praises the other guys so much. Now he's gonna spend the rest of the review shitting all over Rivers.
No, actually, Rivers does have some very good moments on this album. In fact, hold on to your asses, people. This album may contain one of my favorite Weezer songs of all time. I am so not joking.
The Angel and the One. Sweet Buddha driving a golf cart. Oh, shit! This might be one of Weezer's best slow jams. It starts so slow and sweet, and gradually builds with every verse bigger and grander in scope, and becomes a sweeping, titanic juggernaut of a ballad. The instrumentation is perfect. Rivers' melodies and harmonies sound beautiful, and all of it just comes together to build this wonderfully sad, but also very hopeful tone. I've said in the past that Weezer wasn't always the best at conveying a message in their music. Well, this song is definitely the exception. It's a song about leaving behind someone you truly care about to pursue some kind of higher calling, sacrificing a relationship to be a part of something bigger than yourself. It's truly heartbreaking, but also very sanguine. That refrain of peace, shalom. It's so optimistic and positive, despite having to endure what is a truly awful situation. It's a song that makes me feel genuine remorse and empathy for the protagonist's plight. This makes me feel something. This doesn't. I'm not joking when I say this may be one of Weezer's finest moments. I would almost recommend picking this album up just to hear this song. If nothing else, pick up this one track on its own, or stream it somewhere, or there are a million fucking ways to get music. Fucking get this song. God damn it, it's so fucking wonderful.
See, that's the thing with this album. When it's good, it's damn good. Like, superb, amazingly solid. The last 15 to 20 minutes of this release are striking to behold. There's some genuinely good stuff there. It's just, kind of a shame in order to get to that last 15 minutes, you have to sit through this!
I'm such a mystery. Excuse my manners if I everybody get down.
Jesus, coffee drinking, Christ.
Let's start with the album art. I mean, I get what they were going for here. It's a classic spin on their previous self-titled albums, but here something feels off. It looks like they were going to dress up in different costumes, Village People style, but Rivers looks like he's the only one who's really committed to the idea. Hey guys, let's dress up for the new album. I'm gonna be cowboy. I'm gonna be a Republican. I'm, wearing a funny hat?
Yeah, I'm not doing this.
Whatever, that's too bad. But bollocks to the art, right? I mean, as long as the music is good, who cares what the album looks like? Well, check out Troublemaker, the album's opener. Listen to those 2 power chords.
Movies are as bad as eating chocolate ice cream.
I hope you enjoyed them because they're the only 2 power chords used throughout pretty much the entirety of this song.
Thankfully, though, this is about as lazy as the instrumentation really gets on this album, and even then, it still doesn't sink to Make Believe's level. I mean, at least this is peppy, it has a nice tempo, and unlike the last 2-chord song I mentioned,
Oh, so afraid of letting go.
but But seriously, Weezer can do so much better than this. This actually could have been a good song if not for two things. The monumentally fuck-off song structure,
and the lyrics.
And I don't need a single book to teach me how to read. Who needs stupid books? They are for petty crooks. And I will learn by studying the lessons in my dreams.
I have a recurring dream where I'm stalked by the pineapple from Tele Francais. I'm just saying, your dreams probably aren't the best place to get an education. Stay in school, kids.
Oh, no.
I picked up a guitar. What does this signify? I'm growing out my hair. I'm moving out to Cherokee. Wanted arts and crafts. How's this for arts and crafts?
Wait, you rhymed arts and crafts with arts and crafts? Come on, dude, that's some Limp Bizkit shit right there.
Marrying a biatch, having 7 kids.
What that person on your tape has is a medical disorder.
that's another thing that doesn't sit well on this track. Not only are the lyrics horridly structured, but they're just too damn ridiculous. I mean, I'm not sure how I'm supposed to take it. I mean, if they're supposed to be jokey, it's not really a very funny joke. And if they're supposed to be taken seriously... yeah, no. I think they wanted the song to come off as confident and brash, but ultimately it just sounds braggadocious and lame. I mean, Weezer can pull off many different tones, but cocky, arrogant swagger?
I'm gonna be a star, and people will crane necks to get a glimpse of me and see if I am having sex.
It just doesn't look good on them. I mean, no offense meant to the man, but I don't think that's a sex tape anyone wants to see.
Oh, you don't like this boasty, swagger, cocky style that Weezer has spontaneously adapted? Well, don't worry about it, because the next track is titled The Greatest Man Who Ever Lived! And I checked, it's not about the Dos Equis guy.
Okay, to be fair, the song does start off well enough. You know, that nice, tinkly little piano riff. That's a mellow, sweet, and smooth kind of groove. Then,
Rivers rap!
You try to play cool like you just don't care, but soon I'll be playing in your underwear.
just drink that in.
You come like a dog when I ring your bell.
Oh my god, who asked to know this much about Rivers' sex life? I don't want to know what your Quom O face looks like, so stop asking!
This song is just disjointed as all hell. It starts off with that pretty piano riff, then this hip-hop thing, and then... wait, falsetto?
So best be giving me your all.
I have a sneaking suspicion that Rivers doesn't actually talk like that in real life. At least I hope to God.
Wait, now there's a choir? Jesus, man, slow the hell down. It literally hasn't even been 2 minutes, and we've changed styles 5 times. For fuck's sake, let me settle into a mood.
No, I still have words. Plenty of words. Oh, Jesus, man, calm down. Look, take it from James Hetfield. If you can't do it right, then don't do it.
Yep, the greatest man who ever lived is singing to you right now. No need for applause. Your odd, hushed silence is more than enough. Gandhi, Norman Borlaug, Mother Teresa, Jesus Christ. Step aside, homeboys and homegirls. Rivers has got this.
Cuomo! Remember the fucking name.
If you don't like it, you can shove it. But you don't like it, you love it.
No, I don't. I mean, look, I know this song isn't supposed to be taken literally. Rivers himself said that he wrote this song during a happy time, and he wanted to write a song that was bombast and sweeping. Something that screamed, I feel good and nobody can touch me. But the problem is, that's not really how the song comes off. The thing is, this song tries to come off like this.
And I will strike down upon thee with great vengeance and furious anger those who attempt to poison and destroy my brothers.
But it ends up coming off more like this.
I'm on drugs!
Also, I really don't like the muddled, disorganized nature of this tune. I mean, sure, it's a bold experiment, but just because they tried doesn't mean they succeeded. It sounds like they just had a bunch of smaller ideas for other tracks, but couldn't find good places for them all, so they just decided to chuck them all together, cook them up into something, and just see what came out. It's a song that's made in the same way you would make a meatloaf. And I don't really like meatloaf. You know, I'm not even saying that all of the ideas were necessarily bad. Okay, some of them were really fucking stupid. But this feels way too disconnected and jumbled to make any kind of emotional impact. I've heard some people say that this could very well be a 21st century Bohemian Rhapsody.
No.
With Bohemian Rhapsody, every instrument and vocal is pitch perfect. Every influence and homage feels terrifically fleshed out, and every progression and musical shift feels natural and interconnected with the rest of the song. With Greatest Man Who Ever Lived?
No.
But things do pick up a bit with the song Pork and Beans, the next track after this thing. Seriously, I do really like the music on Pork and Beans. The verse is simple, but well accentuated, with good piano work, nice humming, and other nice little touches. The chorus is also huge and heavy, and there's nothing too distracting about the music to keep you from losing interest.
I mean that too. This song is really pretty great, and it has gone on to become one of Weezer's more notable hits. That being said, it does have some flaws, particularly in the lyrics.
They say I need some Rogaine to put in my hair. Work it out at the gym to fit my underwear.
Wait, didn't you just tell us that you were the greatest man that ever lived in the last track? Now you're telling us you're balding and you can't fit in your pants? I mean, by that definition, Carl from Aqua Teen Hunger Force is our Lord and Savior.
And Willy, 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 wham!
Oakley makes the shades to transform a tool.
Well, they transform a tool into a bigger tool, so okay, I'll give you that one, I guess.
Timberland knows the way to reach the top of the chart. Maybe if I work with him, I can perfect the art.
Yeah, stupid big-name producers with all their polish and wall of sound bullshit. Who needs a... Oh. I'm being mostly facetious here. This song does kick a lot of ass, and it helps break the monotony and oddness that those previous tracks set up. I'm not kidding, I genuinely love this tune, even though it lacks a solo, and in spite of its sometimes baffling lyrics.
So the album takes a while to get going. No big deal. At least we're going now. We have some good momentum to work off of.
Then we get to Heart Songs, another track that shows a lot of potential. The acoustics are lovely, the sleigh bells and xylophone add a terrifically pleasant touch, and overall the track is just very well arranged. It's an outstanding slow burn, a perfect song for a snowy night or a rainy day.
That is from a strictly instrumental standpoint. Lyrically, though...
Well, it starts off fine, I guess. This song is an homage to the artists that Rivers loved throughout his youth, a small tribute to all the musicians that shaped him. A great topic to write a song about, and one that has been pulled off effectively by other artists. So we have the makings of a great track here, and the first verse references a lot of great musicians. Were there the day John Lennon died. Okay, I'm sold.
There's nothing like a good tribute to the greats, you know? Just honoring our heritages and looking back on the artists that truly deserve to be. Quiet Riot got me started with the banging of my head. Iron Maiden, Judas Priest, and Slayer taught me how to shred. Oh, really? Priest, Maiden, Slayer, Quiet Riot?
Okay, I'll admit that's not fair. They certainly weren't the worst band of their time, and to quote back to the song, Quiet Riot got me started with the banging of my head. So, okay, they were the band that exposed him to the genre. We all have to start somewhere, so okay, we'll give that a pass. Let's listen on. Debbie Gibson, tell me that you think we're all alone.
Debbie Gibson? Freaking really, dude? I mean, that would be bad enough on its own, but I Think We're Alone Now is actually a Tiffany song. Couldn't even get that right. Never gonna give you up. Wow. Rivers Cuomo just rickrolled us. And here's the scary part. This song was written and performed live in 2006. And the first, arguably, recorded rickroll occurred in 2007. So, you almost could make the argument that Rivers Cuomo invented the rickroll. It takes two to make a thing go right. Quick! Name the artist who performed It Takes Two without Googling it in 5 seconds or less. Ready? Go! Time. And the answer was... Thank you very much for playing.
Okay, maybe I'm being too judgmental here. I mean, this is a song about Rivers' personal favorites, and there's no accounting for personal taste. But, come on, if you're gonna commemorate the greats, commemorate the greats, man! Don't lump them in with cynical dance music, expendable teeny pop, and the fresh fucking Prince. I mean, he has enough problems of his own right now, man. I mean, I know we all have eclectic tastes when it comes to music, but there's so many artists here who just don't deserve to be soliloquized. I mean, you're basically putting Raining Blood, Wild World, and Hungry Heart on the same pedestal with Parents Just Don't Understand and Wishing Well and I Think We're Alone. Okay, look, personal taste or no, these choices are just not gonna sit well with some people. Again though, in the song's defense, if you can see past the weirdness in some of these lyrics, there is a fine song to be had here, at least instrumentally. As for me though, well, I fucking hate Quiet Riot, so next. Okay, here we go. Again, from an instrumental standpoint, this song is pretty good.
I'm really starting to sound like a broken record, aren't I?
The guitars are punchy and well distorted, and Wilson's drumming is snappy and exciting. Even the vocals are well executed with some killer harmonizing in the bridge.
But again, the lyrics just come in and make everything weird.
I used to go and tip cows for fun, yeah. Actually, I didn't do that, cause I didn't want the cow to be sad.
So wait, your friends would tip cows, but you wouldn't because you thought it would make them sad. Dangerous!
In fact, most of this verse isn't even about the crazy stuff Rivers would do, it's just about the stuff his friends would do while he watched.
Dangerous!
Hockey games on pros and pounds, no safety pads were ever put on.
That's right, I'm not gonna wear protective gear, cause I'm dangerous!
Drive around with hairspray and sharp knives, looking for road kills, stab the corpses, and lick the knives like we're evil forces.
Dangerous! Oh, wait, no, that's just odd. I mean, okay, tetanus and rabies are dangerous things to get, but I don't think that's really keeping the spirit of things here.
Like with a lot of the other tracks, there's a damn fine song buried in here somewhere, but the lyrics just take a lot of forgiveness to get through. I mean, hell, just listen to that chorus.
Everybody get dangerous, everybody get dangerous.
Wait, no. No, the word booyah never has and never will be dangerous.
Booyah, Grandma!
See what I mean?
You know, overall, I'd say that's this album's biggest fault. The lyrics. I mean, the music genuinely shines in some places. There's some damn good instrumentation that's just being overshadowed by some painstakingly awful lyrical content. I mean, don't get me wrong, when they do work, they work well. But when they're bad...
If I just yell up on my behind.
Fucking wow! And hell, Weezer's one of those bands where we're actually more forgiving of their lyrics than we are with most others. I mean, hell, we've let them get away with this.
Don't bother with the taste of a teach.
And this. And even this. But on this album, the strangeness, I don't know, it's very, very hard to ignore here. The posturing and preening on certain tracks just doesn't fit the tone of Weezer as a band, and the parts where they try to sound threatening just come off as...
like we're evil forces.
Ew. They never seemed all that cocky or arrogant or dangerous to me. In fact, I think a part of their biggest appeal is that they're so good at not being cocky, arrogant, and dangerous. They're anti-rock stars. They're the guys you go to when you're sick of listening to Scott Weiland drone on about heroin, or sick of Oasis bitching about how hard it is being multi-millionaires who hate each other, boo-hoo, or sick of Bono just being a preachy, self-righteous windbag.
Oh, come on! I love Octoon Baby as much as anybody else, but just try to sit through Rattle and Hum without puking into your mouth a little. I fucking dare ya.
Am I bugging you? I don't mean to bug you, honey.
Weezer, to me at least, always seems like they're at their best when they're embracing their nerdiness, celebrating the differences they have from the other guys, purposely separating themselves from the herd instead of begging to be a part of it. Weezer's best work, in my opinion, comes from them standing up for the oddball, the little guy, the nebbishy nerd who plays too much guitar and listens to too much Rush.
Guilty.
And on this album, we do get little hints and little tastes of that, but the places where Rivers is bragging about how much sex he's gonna have and how much of a badass motherfucker he is,
If I just yell up on my behind.
I don't know, to me it just feels really out of place. It feels forced, is what it is. There are lots of big tough guys in rock, and Rivers kinda sounds like he wants to be one of the big tough guys. But he's not a big tough guy. Fuck, we grew to love this band specifically because they weren't big tough guys. Rock will never run short on big tough guys, okay? Weezer always represented something different, something much more earnest and heartfelt. And like I said, in some places, we do see that. But in others... yeah, not so much. What's even more baffling is that this album has some killer B-sides to it. Depending on what special edition you bought, you also got songs like Pig, King, and It's Easy with your copy, and those songs are really good. From what I've heard, it sounds like there was more than enough material written to make a completely solid album.
Yeah, there's the thing. Why couldn't those songs have been put on the official release instead of that? This album isn't even really what I'd call bad. I mean, there's several tracks on it that make it worth owning. It does feel horribly lopsided in places, though, perhaps even misguided. But it does fix a lot of the problems that were wrong with Make Believe. There's lots of energy and vitality, tons of proficient instrumentation, and some interesting experimentation here and there.
This album is a very odd duck. But hell, I'd still rather have an odd duck than a dead cat. After hearing this, there was just a little glimmer of hope that Weezer could be great again, that Make Believe was as bad as this band was ever gonna get. I mean, hell, despite my endless bitching about that album, it had a few decent cuts on it. I mean, Make Believe is still better than anything put out by lesser bands like Nickelback or Flaw or Thousand Foot Crutch.
Oh, fuck, again? Well, the Red Album showed us a dramatic improvement compared to Make Believe, and it gave us a lot more optimism. It gave us something to look forward to in the future. And it assured us that Make Believe was as bad as this band was ever gonna get. I mean, that they couldn't do any worse than Make Believe. I mean, they just couldn't. There's no way they could do worse than Make Believe. It's impossible. They couldn't possibly release something that's worse than Make Believe. Right? Well, I don't know, I guess that's all I have to say. I'm Crash Thompson, and as always, the only opinion that really matters is your— Oh, God damn it! Oh, fuck! Oh, get off of me! Get off of me! Oh, fucking God! Victor! Victor! God! God! No! Shit! God! Get off of me!